We also have Senator Doug Broxson from right here in Escambia County. And we have Representatives Williamson, Andrade, Salzman, Pat Maney here with us today, local Northwest Florida state rep, so thank you for being here. We also have Carlos Fines, Regional Director of Operations, Southeast Region. Are you up here with us? Okay, yeah. We have Sean Brown, the District Manager for Home Depot. Where are you at? Okay. And then we have Mike Sullivan, the store manager for Home Depot. So thank you. So thanks again to Home Depot. Last year, about this time, when we were actually also doing an announcement for hurricane preparedness, Home Depot announced that they would do COVID testing in their parking lots. And so this was a time a lot of people obviously were looking to get tested then, and we made it convenient for a lot of folks. So they were doing hundreds of people a day at a lot of their stores, and they've always been willing to help us through the last year, and then obviously with storms. The bill we're going to sign today represents a lot of tax savings for Florida taxpayers. As many of you know, we typically do sales tax holidays for things like going back to school and for disaster preparedness, and I'm happy to report that we'll be doing those again this year. But we were also, and I think partially because look, if you look around the country, we're a free state. Many of these states are not free states, unfortunately. So the legislature believed, and they really deserve credit for this idea, that to celebrate both our economic and recreational freedom that we enjoy here in the Sunshine State, this tax package will include the first ever Freedom Week, which will be a 7-day sales tax holiday on outdoor recreational purchases, as well as tickets for events, museums, the arts, and more. And so we're proud of being a free state, we're proud of being open, and we want taxpayers to be able to benefit if they're participating in all these things. And we've had, no state has had more events than we've had over the past year. We most recently in Jacksonville had the first full capacity indoor sporting event with UFC. Of course, we hosted the Super Bowl in Tampa. We're going to be in Bay County for a big there's going to be like 20, 30,000 people at that. So we're going to be doing that. So we're really proud of that, and we're proud that that folks in Florida are able to enjoy that. And quite frankly, we have folks in other states that look to Florida as their refuge to be able to come down here, whether it's vacation, whether it's attending events, whether it's all these different things. I go out and I talk to folks. In fact, we were in Panama City Beach. All these people, hanging out. They're a lot of them other states, and they're really thanking us that they have Florida to be able to come to escape some of these repressive policies. And it's interesting. Some of these governors lock down their people, and then they come to Florida themselves to be able to enjoy. I mean, so this Freedom Week is scheduled during the week of July 4th. It will exempt sales tax on the following eligible purchases. Admissions to events scheduled between July 1st and December 31st, 2021. So that includes live music events, sporting events, movies, ballets, plays, music theaters, fairs, festivals. My daughter loves fairs, and so we took her to the Strawberry Festival down in Plant City and the Clay County Fair in Northeast Florida. So she's always asking me, Daddy, I want to go back to the fair. So now we'll save on our tickets, I guess, if we do that. Use or access to private and membership clubs and providing physical fitness facilities. That's really important. These bureaucrats telling us we have to keep these gyms closed. That you should not be doing that. You want people to be able to be physically fit and be able to have access to this, and so we're proud that we've done that. It also, no tax on entry to state park, museum, including annual passes. So if you buy the annual pass, no tax, as well as season tickets for things like music events, plays, ballets. And then my favorite is no tax on retail sale of specified boating and water activity supplies, camping supplies, fishing supplies, general outdoor supplies, and sports equipment. In the sports, any individual or team sport. So if you need batting gloves, if you need golf balls, if you need any of that, week of July 4th, you're going to pay no tax up to a certain amount. So I think this is really smart. I think it was really good, and I'm happy that we're able to do this. Of course, the back-to-school sales tax holiday will run for 10 days, spanning July 31st until August 9th for certain clothing, school supplies, and the first $1,000 of personal computers and related accessories. The 10-day disaster preparedness tax holiday will run from May 28th through June 6th. For specified disaster preparedness items within certain price ranges, including flashlights under $40, tarps under $100, batteries under $50, coolers under $60, and generators up to $1,000. And so that will provide folks with the ability to prepare themselves. And we'll hear from Kevin Guthrie. Hurricane season is basically upon us. I know they say June 1st, but in reality, I think they're going to start saying you need to start thinking about this at this point in May going forward. So we're going to do that, and we're anticipating it to be a relatively active season, and Floridians should just understand that this is something that we may have to deal with, and so it's best to be prepared. In addition to those tax holidays, the bill institutes Florida's first permanent sales tax exemption for independent living items for our seniors. So during the pandemic, we put our seniors first, and we're proud of the work we did to protect the most vulnerable. I talk to people in other states. They say, my parents were able to get vaccine in Florida, and it wasn't even available to a lot of the seniors in some of these other states for months going on. So we're proud of what we've done. We're also proud. If you look at mortality from COVID, there's 40 states that had higher senior per capita mortality than the state of Florida. So we were one of the 10 safest states for seniors throughout COVID, and we're very proud of that. The permanent sales tax exemption for items like bed transfer handles, bed rails, grab bars, and shower seats is a way to redouble our commitment to improving our seniors' quality of life, because decreasing the cost of living is an important way to improve the lives of those on fixed incomes. To support housing options for all Floridians, the tax package doubles the ad valorem tax exemption for certain affordable housing properties from 50% to 100%. The bill includes implementation language for a proposed constitutional amendment providing property tax relief for residential property improvements made for the purpose of flood mitigation. This general property tax relief is subject to approval by the voters on the 2022 general election ballot. To help support the well-being of our children in the state, the bill creates the Strong Families Tax Credit Program for businesses that make monetary donations to certain eligible charitable organizations that provide services focused on child welfare. The newly created internship tax credit provides tax relief for Florida businesses that employ and retain student interns, encouraging companies to hire young Floridians attending college in our state. The bill also provides a one-time increase in funding of $17.5 million for the Brownfields Tax Credit Program to fund a backlog of approved credits. This program, administered through DEP, incentivizes businesses to clean up and redevelop hazardous sites to protect our environment and to protect our economy. So I'm proud of the work that the legislature has done on this. We're going to have some folks come up and say a few things, and then I will get to sign in the bill. So first, we're going to hear from First, we're going to hear from Speaker Sprowls and Senator Simpson. So, Chris.
Well, thank you, Governor. Great to be here today in North Florida to celebrate what I believe is certainly the best tax package that we've had in the legislature since I've been happy to be a part of it. We owe a lot of that to our partners in the Senate, Senate President Simpson, who worked hard on this tax package. Here in the House, Chairman Bobby Payne, who helped shepherd this through. But the governor said something I think that's really important, and that here in Florida, our people believe in freedom. And luckily, we have a governor and we have a legislature and a cabinet who believe in freedom as well. This will be the first year ever in a tax package that we're going to celebrate that freedom with a dedicated Freedom Week on sales tax cuts, on everything ranging from sunscreen to sporting goods to camping to state park admission, to concert and sports venues, because our message to our Floridians is very clear, and that is we want you to celebrate that freedom. We know that this year, more than most, families have been cooped up. They were sometimes, their businesses were hurt. Their ability to go out and socialize with their friends and be with their family outdoors and do the things that they wanted to do to celebrate everything that's great to be an American and everything that's great to be a Floridian. And this year we want to make it very clear that we want them to embrace that. We hope that people will go out, that they'll buy grills, that they'll go out camping, that they'll play sports, that they'll go to visit our state parks, and they'll go outside and enjoy great and safe concert venues. So we're excited about Freedom Week. We're also excited about a lot of other things in this tax package. Every year, when our kids go back to school, I've got 2 little ones who will be going back to school, in the fall as well. We celebrate the back-to-school sales tax holiday. This year, under this tax package, we've extended the days to 10 days to make sure that families have enough time to get out to the store and get their stuff that they need for going back to school. I know Kevin's going to talk about the hurricane preparedness holiday, and we certainly have done that every year, because every year as Floridians we're at risk of hurricanes. Nobody knows that more truthfully than the folks here, the members here from North Florida, who recently went through Hurricane Michael and have had to rebuild their community from the ground up. So this year is more importantly than ever, and I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that the folks like Kevin and Jared Moskowitz and the folks over at our Emergency Operations Center over the last year who've been, activated for longer than they've ever been activated in Florida's history are real heroes to Floridians. They've done a great job. And this year, as we enter into hurricane season, we're excited to make sure that Floridas are prepared for hurricane season. The governor mentioned a couple other things that are in this tax package that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. The Strong Families Tax Credit. It's been a priority of Senate President Simpson and the House to tackle child welfare issues. You've seen a revamp of our child welfare system to help foster kids who are transitioning. This tax credit will help those kids who are at risk to make sure that we're providing them the resources they need to have families who love them, and that making sure that they can take care of them, and that those charities provide them wraparound services. Also in this tax package, and I'll let the president talk a little bit about Moffitt Cancer Center, but I wanted to take a moment to say that over the last several years, Senate President Simpson has had a labor of love to help cancer patients across the state have access to a world-class research and treatment facility so that if, God forbid, they get sick, they get the best treatment there is to have in the United States of America. That has absolutely been your labor of love, President Simpson. I congratulate you today. We're excited about this tax package. We're excited about the freedom that it bears and that making sure that we kept the taxpayers in mind and the taxpayers first. Luckily, we have a governor who continues to champion the taxpayer, continues to champion the freedoms that we all share. And for that, Governor DeSantis, the Florida House is very grateful. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Governor, for being here today. And I know how important the tax package is. I've served now 9 years in the Florida Senate, and I agree with Speaker Sprouse. We did more this year in way of tax cuts and relief than we've done in many, many years. What makes this so good is that if you look over the last decade, the state of Florida, in addition to cutting over $10 billion of taxes, we've cut over $10 billion of debt. So you should be very proud of your state. At the same time of cutting record taxes, we were able to continue to pay down debt, and Florida is at one of the record low debt states in the union. And we have a AAA bond rating by all 3 credit rating agencies. So it's been something I've been very proud to serve with the Speaker, and Senator Broxton's here today, a local senator, and Senator Ana Maria Rodriguez was a senator who shepherded this tax package through the Senate. So we're very proud of all those statistics. One of the things I'll re-mention was Moffitt Cancer Center. It's something that the state of Florida now, in the next 5 to 10 years, will have the leading, what I believe will be, cancer research and institute in the United States, probably in the world, and it'll rival any institution anywhere in the country. And it's something we worked very hard on for many years. I'm glad to see that happen, and I really appreciate the Speaker's work on the tax package, the Governor's, and I appreciate being here today, Governor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jimmy Petronis.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Don't we have a great governor? Give him a round of applause. Come on. You know, I get to go different places around the state, and I get stopped all the time. And the first thing people say to me is, "Tell the governor he's doing a great job." You hear that? Who is proud of this guy? Who hears this? I hear it all the time. Now I don't know about y'all, so I'm here because hurricane preparedness. And Kevin probably agrees. We both lose hair this time of year because we get concerned because of folks being prepared at times of hurricane. You know, we saw what Michael and Sally did in Northwest Florida. We're concerned. These men and women up here know that you feel the pain when it comes time to recovery. And the store here, I know you go through strains because your men and women want to take care of your families and you want to put up and board up your own houses, but you're here making sure that people have access to the stuff that they need to save their houses. I want to give y'all a round of applause. My college roommate used to be a Home Depot manager over in Merritt Island, and some of the hardest days were the times hurricanes were bearing down the state, and you're sitting there doing everything you can to help people save their homes. So this is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to incentivize that. We're trying to make sure that the sales tax benefit gives you motivation so you go out and get those resources now. You used to go get the radios, the batteries, the generators, the supplies now as opposed to waiting when the emergency comes. Everybody remember the challenge we had finding toilet paper just about a year ago? So we're trying to make sure we don't duplicate that all over again. And the men and women of the Florida legislature, they go to Tallahassee, they take time away from their family, from their businesses in order to make the policies that make sense for the citizens of this state. So it's great to have partners like the Retail Federation, Home Depot, and all these stakeholders that come together to help us make these good ideas. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless you have a Senate president, you've got a speaker, and you got a governor who says they want this for the citizens of the state. So again, incredibly humbled to be here with y'all here today. Thank y'all so much for your sacrifices and making sure that the citizens of the state of Florida have the absolute best place to live. So proud of this state. Thanks, Governor.
All right.
Good morning. First, I want to say thank you to the Governor for your leadership, as well as CFO Petronas, Speaker, Mr. President. Thank you for your leadership and all that you do for the citizens of this state. I'm excited to be here today with the Governor and everyone on the stage. There's no doubt that House Bill 7061 will help Floridians save money. I want to thank everyone who made this bill possible. This broad-based tax relief package will assist Floridians in preparing for the upcoming hurricane season, which begins in less than 2 weeks. As the Governor mentioned, we already have one storm that's out near Bermuda right now that should be have a number or a name in the next few days. Hurricane season is starting earlier each and every year. So it looks like next year the National Weather Service may move that date up for hurricane season to May the 15th. So we want to be ready for that. You can be ready for that as well. At the Florida Division of Emergency Management, we expect to have an active hurricane season, and we are preparing now by stocking up on supplies that we'll need during a storm. I'm encouraging all Floridians to do the exact same thing. To prepare for hurricane season, the division recommends having a disaster plan in place and a stocked disaster supply kit with at least 5 to 7 days worth of supplies. As the Governor mentioned, the disaster preparedness sales tax holiday begins May the 28th and runs through June the 6th. During this time, disaster preparedness supplies are tax-free. This is the best time to get the items that you need for your family in the event of a storm. The earlier you prepare, the better off you will be come June 1st. Having a stock disaster supply kit is vital to an individual's hurricane preparedness. Your supply kit should contain everything you and your family will need during a storm, like water, medication, non-perishable food items, batteries, flashlights. The division has compiled a full checklist to use while stocking up on these kits or these supplies for your kit. That checklist is available at floridadisaster.org/kit. When a storm is approaching your area, that is not the time to build your kit. The time is now, starting next week, during this sales tax holiday, to stock up on your critical supplies. As I mentioned earlier, the division is preparing for this upcoming hurricane season. In the last few weeks, we've met with national, state, and local county emergency managers, and we have participated in hurricane exercises to improve our response. We have stocked up our disaster supplies. Right now, we currently have more than 2 million gallons of water, more than 100 meals ready to eat to be used to assist Floridians during a hurricane. We have secured special needs beds, cots, and other resources for local governments and Floridians in case we have to respond to a storm this season. We're encouraging Floridians to take other steps for individual disaster preparedness, including performing an annual insurance check of your home, your renter's insurance, your business insurance, your flood insurance. That is your first line of defense. Most people that depend on FEMA, the maximum grant that you can get from FEMA is $35,000 if you qualify for every single thing that they have. The average payout to a Floridian in a time of disaster is $4,000. Your first line of defense is your insurance policy. Second, know if you live in an evacuation zone or not. Know if you live in a low-lying prone area. We call this know your home, know your zone. Listen to your local emergency managers and heed the warnings that they give you in time of emergency. The division stands ready to support Florida's communities throughout this upcoming hurricane season. We remain committed in ensuring that Florida is prepared to respond to and recover from and mitigate against any storm that we have this season. So as we continue to take the necessary preparation steps, I want to once again encourage all Floridians to go ahead and start preparing their disaster preparedness kit. Again, the division's checklist is available at floridadisaster.org/kit. Again, Governor, Speaker, Mr. President, I just want to say, Jimmy, I'm sorry. Thank you for everything that you have done for us, for the citizens of the state, and thank you for your leadership. Appreciate it.
We have Carlos Fines, Regional Director of Operations, Home Depot.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys make it kind of a tough act to follow, So, Governor, thanks for being here, without a doubt. And so, Speaker Sprouse, Mr. Patrons, Director Guthrie. Do I get that right? That's it. I got that right. So, thanks for being here. Look, Governor, thanks for signing the bill here at our store today. Something that is extremely important. As you guys were just mentioning a little while ago, Home Depot is actually, a company that has some very, very deep values. And as you guys are mentioning, when you're looking at signing this bill is something that's going to help our community. And in doing so, when you're looking at the Home Depot, it's something that actually just distinguishes us from, being, there for the community. So thanks for being in our store today, and I'll pass it on to you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. So we're excited about being able to sign. You think about back to school holiday, tax holiday. We've obviously historically done that in Florida. I think it means even more this year, the fact that we actually had schools open in Florida. Many of these other states, they still don't have full in-person schooling in major parts of our country, in some of these bigger urban areas. And that is an absolute disgrace, and that is going to hurt millions and millions of families. It already has. It's going to continue to hurt, and there's going to be reverberations of that for years to come. So we put our students and our families first. We made sure that we were going to give every parent the access to in-person instruction. We are much better for doing that as a state than had we followed the path of these lockdown jurisdictions. I'm also glad with the sales tax holiday for things like recreation, sports, very good, very important for Florida. But live events. we welcome people in Florida to do this, but a lot of these musicians have been treated horribly by these other states. They're not allowed to perform. And, most of the folks involved in this, are not making millions of dollars. They're doing smaller venues, and they've been shut out across this country. We've obviously welcomed that here, but I think the fact that we're doing this, is going to add an extra boost for some of these live performances. It's a very important part of life to be able to have access to different parts of culture. You can't just be, sitting in your closet for a year. You got to be out, you got to be living. And I think having things like that, having our big events, having our sports, having our music, I think really, it just shows that Florida's the place to be. So I really appreciate them doing the Freedom Week, and we're going to make it official here right now.
Amen.
Today's date is May 21st. Am I right on that, or 22nd?
21st.
21st.
Second would be my anniversary.
We're in the wrong place. You'll get a gift on the way home.
Okay.
Free gift.
Buy something here.
You guys have so many legislative accomplishments. It's like you're going to have nothing but.
We'll get one to Carlos.
Thank you, sir.
You
got it?
One?
Yeah.
Thank you. You got one?
Anyone else?
Yeah. He's got it.
All right.
You got it. Yeah.
Well, good work, everybody. We got a lot more to come over the next many weeks in terms of signing other key pieces of legislation involving approving a lot of really good stuff in the budget, and we look forward to doing that very soon. Question or two? Yes, sir.
Governor, this is your fourth, maybe your fifth visit to the Western Panhandle since maybe a year or so ago. What does Northwest Florida mean to you personally and to the state of Florida?
Northwest Florida has led the way during this pandemic. If you look at how they handle... If you look at how the folks handled this, actually, they've had some great, last summer was great. I mean, people from all across the country were wanting to come to Northwest Florida because it's like, I don't feel like I have to deal with these lockdowns. I feel like a normal person. And honestly, for people's, the tourism dollars is great for us, but I mean, the amount of just well-being for people emotionally to just be in a great area has been really, really good. And I'll tell you what, we enjoy working with these folks. We've done a lot from Bay all the way over here to Escambia, and we're proud of the work, but we're also proud of the Floridians that live in this part of the state. We come in and, you have our military footprint, one of the top footprints in the country up here in Northwest Florida for active duty. And then, of course, all the great veterans that live in Northwest Florida really make our community that much better. So I know anytime the state of Florida has to deal with anything, we know that Northwest Florida will step up and be there for our state. So it's really an honor to be here. And I've been in Northwest Florida more than any other governor, wouldn't you say? And certainly, so we're happy with that.
Governor, thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. Where do you work? Where do you work?
I'm the patch man. I'm the one that you kept me busy. You kept a roof over my head.
Yes.
Kept my insurance to pay. Kept my medical expenses, insurance. God bless you.
Okay. Well, God bless you. Yes, ma'am.
Question is kind of off the subject of the hurricane, but in Escambia and Santa Rosa County currently, they're still quarantining healthy children.
No, yeah, we don't want that. So I've said that from the very beginning. So the question is, quarantining healthy kids. No, you don't quarantine healthy kids. We've said that repeatedly. First of all, these kids are not at significant risk of this. That is very clear by now. They are not significant sources of spreading, but all the adults have access to vaccine anyways, and so healthy quarantines are not something that I think should be done. I think, honestly, it's been very unfair to a lot of people when the locals do that, because you have a kid, you take them out of school, and they're not sick. You know, it's one thing if you're sick to stay home, but to say, oh, well, you may have passed someone in the hallway, therefore you have to stay home for 2 weeks. It's hard for parents, too, because the parents have to figure out, especially our single moms, they got to juggle work now, and then they have their healthy kid is told they can't go back to school or something. So, no, we don't support healthy quarantine. Europe does not do healthy quarantine in schools. What they do is if someone has symptoms, then they have them stay home, and then they can test them. But if people are healthy, then they behave like healthy people. We also need to, these kids should not be having to wear masks in these schools. We have to let them go to school and be like normal kids and go to school normally. That's what really the evidence has told us we need to be doing. Clearly, from an emotional, physical, psychological perspective, that's obviously just a no-brainer to have them be normal. Many places in Florida have done that, and I know a lot of them are saying, well, we're definitely going to do that going forward. But I think that should be the policy statewide. And obviously, if these guys were to put something on my desk that said that, I would obviously sign that without question. So we'll be happy to do it.
One more thing about education. We also, I know you said we're not doing critical race theory, but like in Santa Rosa County, especially with our Board of Education, and I think also in Escambia, they're kind of rewording it as SEL, which is social emotional learning. And our grade 3-5 summer reading books, there are several of them that are kind of about critical race theory. It's all about the race, and it's just pointing out, and it's putting, to me, it's putting in their minds the separation. So what can we do about situations like that where you don't want that being taught, that our boards are still in the Santa Rosa Board of Education actually passed a curriculum that has that in it already.
So, you can put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, and, you can rename. So what we're doing, the Florida Board of Education is meeting, and they are addressing this. And I told them they need to address this, and we've got to do it. I mean, first of all, it's offensive. Here we are celebrating tax savings. It's offensive to the taxpayer that they would be asked to fund critical race theory, that they would be asked to fund teaching kids to hate their country and to hate each other. And it's also based on false history. When they try to look back and denigrate the Founding Fathers, denigrate the American Revolution, doing all these different things that even very liberal historians say is not supported by the facts. And so I think what we need is the Constitution back in classrooms. We need to make sure civics is a priority, but it needs to be taught accurately. It needs to be taught in a fact-based way, not an ideological-based way. And if we have to play whack-a-mole all over this state, stopping this critical race theory, we will do it. What I would rather... So we'll be taking action, don't you worry. Thanks, everybody. God bless you guys. Thank you.
CFO, John's going to grab you real quick after we talk to Brad.
good?
I'm good. I didn't know what you were doing something, so I just wanted to be around.
No, I'm good. Just check and make sure nobody needs anything else before we get out of here. See you, brother. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend.
Always good to see you. Thank you, all. Which one's yours, Jesse? That's yours. Yeah. I haven't seen you stand proud. Yeah. How do you like that? I got it.